Sports Talk 2319, and I am your host, Rashad Phillips. I'm so excited to bring to you today teams, players, just tons of excitement. Let's get this show started right now. Let me give you guys my top 5 shooting guards in all of the country right now. Now it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have a 1A and a 1B, a 2, 3, and a 4. That's how I'm going to do this one. TREVON BLUIETT from XAVIER is my top shooting guard in all of America. Reminds me a little bit of Bradley Beal, great in the half-court set, quick release, clutch player, can put teams on his back and take them there. He did it last year in a tournament, took XAVIER to the Elite 8 with those type of characteristics. My 1B would be Tyler Hall out in Montana State. I believe Tyler Hall is the most dangerous shooting guard in all of the country. The kid can score it, he can shoot it, he can handle it, he's tough, he's a winner, he can defend. I believe that this kid has large upside. You go to number 2 would be ALLONZO from Arizona. Kid has a lot of passion, very efficient scorer, athletic, leader, can stretch the defense. And you go next would be GRAYSON, obviously. Senior, takes and makes big shots. GRAYSON reminds me a little bit of Rex Chapman. You know, a little toughness, athletic, can stretch the defense, got a little flavor in his game. So again, keep your eye on GRAYSON Allen throughout the season. He's done well thus far. Last but not least, MCINTOSH from Northwestern. Yeah, I believe MCINTOSH is probably the best passing shooting guard in all the country. Northwestern like to run a lot of sets, high ball screens with MCINTOSH with the ball in his hands. He does a great job of finding guys. And of course, he can get his own shot and he's very efficient. So those are my top 5 shooting guards in the country right now. The kid that you should tune into and watch is Justin Wright Foreman, 6'1", junior out of HOFSTRA University. Crafty, left-handed, tireless scorer. What I like about this kid, he reminds me a lot of Nick Van Exel. Has a lot of his characteristics, his ability to create space, tremendous ball handler, can make and take tough shots, plays relentless, he's fearless, great athlete. I watched him the other day against Clemson go backdoor and dunk it 2 hands at 6'1". That impressed me tremendously with that kid. I like to call a kid like Justin a safety valve scorer. It's when your offense is just not cutting it for you and you can just give this kid the ball and he'll manufacture points. He's that good with the ball in his hand. He's exciting to watch and it's a pleasure watching this kid play. Now, if you look at the school HOFSTRA, historically, they've had great point guards. Look no further than their bench. There's a guy sitting on their bench, assistant coach, SPEEDY CLAXTON. Let me give you a little history on SPEEDY CLAXTON. He was one of the best college point guards in my era. I actually competed against him in the early 2000s. He was a HOFSTRA great. I believe he's HOFSTRA's greatest player. Numbers retired there. He owns numerous records. But he was a first-round pick in the NBA draft by the Philadelphia 76ers. He won the NBA championship with the San Antonio Spurs. And the reason I bring SPEEDY CLAXTON up is you can see Speedy's tutelage already rubbing off on Justin. The way the kid approaches the game, the way he attacks defenders offensively, a lot like Speedy did when he played. I'm excited to see how this plays out with this kid. This is one of those players that I would actually pay my ticket to watch play. He's that exciting to watch for me. So going forward, he's a 20-point scorer, averaged 18 last year as a sophomore and 22 in the conference play last year. So this is a kid we want to keep our eye out on. HOFSTRA University, Justin Wright Foreman. One of my personal favorites to watch is freshman BRUNO FERNANDO, 6'10", 250 pounds, all muscle out of Maryland. High energy, great motor, phenomenal mobility, a guy that plays with a lot of passion. Bruno is one of those kids that the way he practices is the way he plays. His head coach Turgeon said that Bruno practices harder than anybody he's ever coached. And Bruno's a freshman, so that tells you how passionate this kid is about the game. He's one of those players I like to call bang for your buck players. And let me explain that to you. Bruno comes off the bench, doesn't play a lot of minutes, played 13 minutes the first game, and goes 5 for 10 and scores 10 points, a couple rebounds, and a block. First game of the season. A couple games later against Butler, he plays 20 minutes, goes 4 for 8 from the field, 4 rebounds, a block, and an assist. And numerous times he got the crowd into it. I believe that this kid, over time, his minutes will increase as we get closer to conference play and he figure out the offense a little more. But let me tell you, Bruno will be one of the best post players in all of the country in the next 4 years. Let's hope he stays in Maryland a little longer. Let's stick with Maryland since I was just talking about Bruno Fernando. Let's talk about the team. This team, thus far, this early season has surprised me more than anybody else. You would think after last season losing a high-caliber point guard in Melo Trimble that this Maryland unit would take a step back, but oh no, that has not been the case here. This Maryland team now, I believe, is better than the team that they had last year. These guys have already bought in. They're very efficient, they're disciplined, and they defend really well. Justin Jackson, I've already told you guys before, is one of the best post players, stretch fours in all of the country. He started out the season playing very efficient. Then you move over to the 6'7" guard, Kevin Huerter, who can guard multiple positions on the defensive end. So his versatility has been great. And on the offensive end, Kevin's been able to post up smaller guards. But the guy that has really caught my attention is the 6-foot sophomore point guard, Anthony Cowan, averaging 18 points a game, leading the team in scoring right now. But more importantly, it seems like he has a command of this offense already with these players, building that continuity. He takes and makes tough shots. He gets in the lane. He makes the guys around him better. The Big Ten is going to be loaded this year, and Maryland will be right in the mix. Stay tuned. Maryland has something for you. Villanova versus Gonzaga. That already has a Sweet 16 March Madness feel to it. An exciting game. When you look at Villanova, they've already played a couple winnable games early on in the season. And I believe Coach Jay Wright has done that on purpose so he can build that continuity with this team. They come in with Jalen Brunson, the point guard, who's arguably the best point guard in all of America, depending on who you ask, and freshman Omari Spillman, who's gotten off to a great start. But when you turn the page and look over at Gonzaga, this is a team with a lot of guys averaging double digits in points. This team shares the responsibilities. They team rebound, they team score, they team assist, and that's what I love about this team. Look for both of these teams to come out swinging, and this will have March Madness, Sweet 16 feel all about it. Don't miss it. Cincinnati versus Florida. When you look at Florida, they come in with more of a balanced attack from the perimeter. You got Igor, Jalen Hudson, and Kevon Allen. But when you turn the page over to Cincinnati, this team is almost identical with heavy perimeter excellence and energetic post players. This game has all the makings for like a March Madness type of feel. Do not miss this one. Alabama versus Arizona. Alabama loves to get out and run, especially with Colin Sexton and his backcourt mate John Petty. These two are going to terrorize the SEC this season. They're both skilled guys, very confident. John Petty has already made 10 three-pointers in the game. These guys are just exciting to watch. But when you turn the page and look over to Arizona, they're no slouches. You have Alonzo Trier, who's one of the best shooting guards in all of America. Then you have the big player, DeAndre Ayton, 7-footer, maybe the best post player in the country as well. So a lot of fireworks, a lot of firepower going into this game. I can't wait to watch this one. Each week, I'll bring you more teams, more excitement, and more players. Until the next episode, I am your host, Rashad Phillips, and this is Sports Talk 2319. Love my expertise info on college basketball players? Want to perfect your own play? Order my training DVD collection now at www.rpskillsunlimited.com.